Hello everyone, this is Catherine at One Precious Pearl, the next chapter. A client recently commissioned me to make 2 pieces for her daughter. Join me while I do a flip through of these minty delights. When my client contacted me, what she was looking for was both a journal, a personal journal, and also a folio for her daughter, who is very organized, to keep her different business and personal ideas together. Sarah works with a professional organizer in New York City, and her mother felt that something like the folio would help her keep ideas and thoughts and different plans, maybe paint chips, the whole thing together in one. So I gladly accepted. So I'm going to start with the journal and then we'll finish up with the folio. The journal itself is a soft front and back in mint, and it's held closed with a piece of chiffon fabric, also in mint. And I have put this little clip on here with a charm, and it's got some little sprinkles in it, and then a tiny little ticket inside the other half. It's simply looped around and through for easy closing and opening again. And I have a small eyelet in the back here that I tied it through, so again it just comes around like this, and then she can slip it through and then put the clip back on it if she wants. So also on the front I have used a piece of embossing with some mint color ink on it. A couple of the other things that Sarah's mom asked for was some pieces of mid-century modern design. Sarah and her husband were engaged in Scotland, and so she wanted to have some kind of a theme in that regard. They're also both actors, and they have lived in New York City, and now Sarah is working in New York City. They have a little Cavapoo dog, and they enjoy fine wine. So these are all some of the ideas I try to incorporate into the journal for Sarah. So there's a lot of pockets. This is just a little card that she can slip in and out and write on. I also like to leave blank spots on the pages just to encourage journaling anywhere in the book. We've got more of that kind of mint theme running all the way through it. And this quote is "Lovely woods, dark and deep," and I added that to this book because this is a picture of a rock wall in the family home. They have since sold the family home, but the picture I think will bring back really sweet memories for Sarah. The next page, there is another journal card, lots of room to write on. Inside this little envelope, I have another couple of journal cards, front and back. They slip back in here. And then this little receipt from Lynch Street in Birmingham. This little page, and inside here is kind of a shaker window, although it doesn't shake a lot, but these are sequins, gold sequins, and the statement is "Leave a little sparkle wherever you go," with a little journal card tucked inside. And then a couple of more pockets with some journaling pieces on it, a little bit of the mint ribbon. This is a thistle, which is, I believe, the national flower of Scotland. And then this particular song is called The Highlander's Bride. And then a beautiful Scottish castle. And then I've tucked some journaling cards in here. And these two have a couple of woolly sheep and then a woolly little heifer. It might be a Shetland cow, I'm not sure. And then I have a bagpipe. And then the other one is a picture of the two of them when they got engaged in Scotland. And these cards are just simply paper, so they're not like a precious photograph, but they can be used to write on the back of. Some more pages, more journaling cards. This is a coin envelope, which I believe I've just put a piece of paper in here for her to use as she starts with her journaling. And then the mid-century modern kind of kitchen aesthetic, some of the colors you might see, little fashion ladies. This is a home that would have been reminiscent of mid-century. Journaling, she can journal here, and then I have a little charm here that makes me think mid-century. Here we have more mint, a little journaling card. There's No Place Like Home by L. Frank Baum. A couple of guest checks that she can journal on front and back. Just an open page, another open page. Here's a glass of wine, and the sentiment says, "Coffee keeps me going until it's acceptable to drink wine." And then I have another journaling card, and then this I believe is a French receipt for Bordeaux, or actually a creative wine. I thought would be fun for her to have. She can write on the back side of it. I've got another page here just with some pretty embellishments, a journaling card, a little tab, and then more little cards. This is actually French writing here. It's just a ledger card of some sort. And then this is the center, and it's Sweet William is a particularly sentimental flower for them, so I want to put that in here. These are just library cards, and I love these because they're great to journal on the back of, and nothing screams mid-century more than something like that. And we've got a little charm here with Sarah's initial, and I know they are domino players. Little journaling card, and then here is kind of page for their little dog, their little cavapoo, and then this was a picture of the family dog. And again, these are all just on paper, so they will be fine for journaling. Lots of journaling room here. This is in French, which I believe Sarah speaks French. I believe she took French all the way through college even, and it's a lineup of different dogs. And a little card here. Just some little collaging. This one is, it says memories, and it's a folder, and inside here I have 3 slides tucked in, and I will put an insert here, but these were taken, this is again of the rock wall, and then these were taken in New York when my husband and I were actually on a trip to New York, but I know it was in Manhattan, which is where they lived and spent a lot of time with theater work. And a collage up here with some more mint. In here I actually found some color paint chips that I thought were so pretty, and I put white paper on the back. So again, more journaling options, a nice pocket to keep things in. Yet again, another card, and you could write on here with a black pen, easy enough. And then we're going to flip this open. This is a little clip that I made for her, and this opens out. Got an S for her initial, and then journaling card tucked in here, and then inside, just for some more extra journaling space, I made a little tablet of sorts for her with a number of pages to write on. I think one thing to remember when you have a journal like this is you can write anywhere on it. You can write, start from the back and move to the front, move from the front to the back, pick a page here or there, especially it depends on how it suits your mood. If this particular page is speaking to you, then write on that page. Then we have another couple of blank pages, and then in here I have a couple of pictures which I'm not going to pull out, but they are also on paper, but these are pictures of their wedding that I just thought would be fun to have tucked in here for her. And then inside here is another really nice size pocket, and I just tucked in a piece of paper. Quite often I'll do this just so that the recipient sees that that is a pocket and they can store memorabilia, more journaling. Sometimes we like to keep our journaling a little more private. Some of the things you don't necessarily want out, especially when you want to share the book. And I have a little key on a charm here. This is another picture from Scotland. And a half page here. And then this is kind of their homage to their acting career and her time in New York. I have the pocket actually made out of a copy of a ticket from our own trip to Hamilton at the Richard Rodgers Theater. Sarah was instrumental in getting us some most beautiful seats. We were 5 rows back from the orchestra pit, and it was like being on stage. So this is an old postcard from the New Public Library in New York. This is just a photocopy on here and a playbill. And then a couple more of the pictures from Manhattan that I think we took on our trip to that particular play. And then Sarah and her husband were both in same time next year. And it was interesting, this was during COVID, and so they set up their living room to look just like the stage would, and that's how they practiced virtually and were able to do the play even though it was COVID. And then in the back I have another tablet of paper tucked in, and my thought also was on the back, this is a stiffer piece of cardboard that she could tuck this in behind any page and use it as a writing board. If she wanted to write on this page, it would be a little bit difficult without that because it's going to have an uneven back behind it. So this just tucks in there and she can write without being concerned about punching through. And that carries a little bit more, again, of that mid-century modern look. So that is her personal journal. And what I will show you is in the folio, it was actually to have fit inside this folio, but I got a little carried away with the pages and decorating, and it got a little bit large. So this is a closure for the folio, and I covered it with tissue and book pages, and I painted it and collaged on it, and even did a little bit of stenciling here. The closure is glued on back here with some more embellishment, and again more Mod Podge on the top of all of it, just to seal it against any wear and tear, and also in case someone sets, you know, a glass of water or something on it. We don't want it to get hurt. And then a pretty charm, but let me show you that I made this really with it being in mind to fit in here, and that was just not going to happen. This is a 3-piece fold out, and I really can't get the camera any further away, but it will fold. This piece folds out here, folds back in, and then it all folds up like that. So the first portion of it is a little pocket that opens up, and I have put in a couple of different things for her here. I put some graphing paper in for if she would like to draw out a particular room that she's reorganizing or resetting. That gives her an option to do that. And then also I put together a little pad that has just regular sketching and drawing. It's actually mixed media, so if she wanted to do some painting, she would certainly be able to do that. And again, carrying through with that mint theme, and there's a pretty little button on it. And that can tuck in here. The thing about these too is when you receive something like this, make it your own. Move things around, add things to it, take things away, and maybe put them somewhere else. So this is the middle section. And so instead of the book fitting in here, what I did was I made a folder. And it's held closed with this little pin or clip and charm. And on both sides, I have pockets. And these pockets are gusseted, both of them, so they do come out and give a little room to put things in. So there's one, and then there's two, and I did slide a little card in the front one, and just to give her an idea that that's how it could be used. And then you open it out, and I have just a couple of note cards tucked in here. I put a little extra paper in here to get her started, and then the second side here. And the great thing about this is it's just held in by these two elastic cords, so she can slip this in and out. She could put a composition notebook in here. She could pull all of it out if she wanted to. So very versatile, just depending on how she wants to use it. And then on the last page, or the last portion, we have a couple of things going on here. Up here I have slipped in some ledger pages, which if she wants to keep a ledger, that's great, but otherwise I use these myself as journaling pages. And then I put a couple of tools in here for her if she wants to draw out a schematic. And then just because they're so pretty, I love these colors, just to give her an idea, that might be where she would want to put paint chips. And then I have another little paper clip here for her with her initial on it. Oops, wrong way. There we go. And then we'll flip it out and examine this page first. So I have this clipped in with a little paper clip, but this is simply a little folder, and there's a charm attached to it. Another little key. And inside of it, I just happen to have some note cards handy, so I put those in. This would be maybe a place to keep receipts, or just a place to write down ideas. And then up here, this flips open, and I have a post-it notepad in here, and that slips in here, and then some pretty mint paper clips. I've tucked some stamps in here. So then the last section, up here I have room for business cards, and she certainly needs one of mine. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these pockets. When you put pockets on like this, if you're making the journal, give yourself some room to maneuver with maybe a little bit of a gusset like I did on these, or just don't tape it flat down so you or your client have room to slip things in. So then I do actually have a journal in here, but this is more of just a composition book that I covered in that same mint paper, and then another journaling spot, little pocket, and then sentiment. It's a big world out there. It would be a shame not to experience it. And you need a pen. So there's a little spot here for her to keep her pens in. And then everything just neatly folds back up. Bring the closure around, and put that back it up, and she's ready to go. Excited to get this in the mail and off to my client so she can give it to her daughter and it can start getting used. Thank you again for joining me. Be great if you would subscribe and also hit the like button, and I will see you again soon. Take care.